All right, we are ready for Thursday. We have good learning to do today. We are going to jump in with some English this morning. The English page is really a practice page, and I would usually just tell you that and you'd go on your way, but there were so many mistakes on our practice page that I just wanted to review. There were so many mistakes on the pages that I had graded that you picked up last week that I wanted to review so you don't make the same mistakes on today's and tomorrow's. All right, so let me make sure I'm with you. Yeah, tomorrow's too. All right, so there are just so many directions that you need to follow on this practice page. So go ahead and grab your English book. You're gonna grab page 295 with 296 on the back. And we're just gonna go through and look at these directions because there are so many directions. And I wanted to do this together. All right, so first we've got to keep the words in our head straight. If they say circle the verb, you're just gonna circle one word. If they say circle the predicate part, it's going to be the whole end of the sentence from the verb on. If they say the subject, then you're just going to underline the subject. If it says subject part, it's everything in the subject. So let's look. I wrote a couple of sentences here. Carrie was sick. We have a linking verb in there. Was, remember? So if they said, split the sentence between the subject part and the predicate part, we'd find our verb, here it is, and we would draw a line. If it said, what's the verb? We would only underline was. But if it said, predicate part, circle the predicate part, you're going to circle this whole thing. Now, subject in this one, who was sick? Carrie. Carrie is the whole subject and the subject part. So even if they said subject or subject part, it's the same as Carrie. Let's look at the second one. The car drove fast. Split that between the subject part and the predicate part. You're going to find the verb and split it. And then my direction that I'm making up in my head is underline the verb. Drove. Circle the predicate part. I have this whole thing from the verb on to the end. Now go to the subject part and underline 2 times the subject. This is the subject part. But the subject is just car. That's the subject. This is the subject part. Remember, part means whole thing. Subject, one word. Verb, one word. Part, whole thing. Always divide your sentence right before the verb, okay? Let's look at number 1. I mean the first direction diamond. Circle the verb. That's one thing you got to do. Draw a line between the subject part and the predicate part. So they'd say, find the verb first. So then you'll know where to stick your line, right before the verb. Underline the subject. Did that say subject part? No, it just said subject, one word. Okay? So you're going to circle the verb. Draw your vertical line in between the subject part and the predicate part. Underline the subject. One word. So you're going to have a word underlined, a line, and then a verb circled. That's it. Next part. Let's go ahead and do the first one together. Number 1, the day is hot. What's the verb? Is, a linker. Circle is. Now we're going to draw a line between the subject part and the predicate part, right before the verb. So we draw it before is. So now we have a line and is circled. Now underline the subject. The day is hot. What is hot? One word, day. Just underline day. Okay, now go to the next direction. Mark the more interesting sentence. Draw boxes around the two adjectives. Okay, we just did this yesterday. This is going to be easy. Number 4, the dog ate his food. Or, the hungry dog ate his tasty food. I think you know that the second one is more interesting. Now, what's the two adjectives that describe it or make it more interesting? Hungry and tasty. So box those. 2 directions there. Okay, next direction diamond, above number 6. Circle the words that are different that could be joined. Okay, here's the 2 that have the same star, just one word is different. We're going to combine those. Use the word and make one sentence. So here's 2 sentences that are basically the same, so we can combine them with and. The goat eats hay. The goat eats grass. What are the only different words in there? Hay we're going to circle, grass we're going to circle. Then we're going to use our best writing and write a good sentence with a capital letter and a punctuation. The goat eats hay and grass. So we don't have to write that 2 times. The goat eats. We just have one combined sentence. Now on the back of your paper. Oh, this one has a lot too. Draw a line between the subject part and the predicate part. Underline the subjects, there's 2 of them, and join them with and. So you're again looking for what's only different in the sentence. Number 8, Dad worked hard, Mom worked hard. So first you have 2 sentences to divide, subject part and predicate part. So in the first one, Dad worked hard. What's the verb? Worked. We're just going to divide that there. Then we're going to find the subject, Dad. So Dad is underlined, and then there's a line before worked. Next sentence, Mom worked hard. Where's the verb? Worked. Make a line before worked. Who worked hard? Mom in this sentence, so underline Mom. Then we're going to combine them in a nice, beautifully written sentence. Dad and Mom worked hard, period. They always work hard. They're so good to us. Dad and Mom worked hard, period. So you're combining those sentences. Number 10, the direction right before that says circle the predicate parts. There's 2. Underline the subject parts. There's 2 again. Write the run-on sentence as 2 sentences. Okay, so we're talking about a sentence. They have 2 different thoughts and they mushed them together. First, I would think, where are those 2 sentences at? And if you want to make a line, fine. If you just want to think, okay, that's a sentence. Yes, got it. Whatever you want to do. So each sentence you find, you're going to mark the subject parts and the predicate parts. So, number 10, the tree is tall, the leaves are small. Where are the sentences? The tree is tall, the leaves are small. Those are your 2 sentences that they forgot the period and mushed together. The tree is tall. Where's the predicate part? Starts with is small. There's tall. So you're going to circle is tall and underline the subject parts. The trees. The tree is underlined, is tall, circled. The leaves are small. Okay, where's the predicate part in that? We find the verb are and circle the rest. Are small. The leaves are underlined. Okay, so for that one, let's just review. Number 10 should look like this. The tree, underline, is tall, circled. The leaves, underline, are small, circled. And then you're going to write those 2 sentences as 2 sentences. Capital T for the tree is tall, period. Capitalize the T in the leaves are small and finish writing that one. So many directions. Okay, now at the bottom, write the adjective in the blank that describes the underlined noun that makes the sentence more interesting. You're just going to pick one of those and write it on the line. Think of what makes sense. careful, careful, careful on all those directions. Go back through and check over. Listen to the video again. Make sure you have all the parts underlined or circled or boxed or whatever they want you to do. Okay, so we can be really successful, because tomorrow is another review page, and I'm not going to get on and do a bunch of directions because I need you to read directions and do really well on that review page tomorrow too. So